Hey YouTube, Mark here. Today is another motorcycle video. I swear this is turning into more of a motorcycle channel than anything else. I haven't been hiking in, gosh, probably 2 years now. A lot of that has to do with the back surgery I had. After that, I just don't know if I want to risk, another back issue by putting a bunch of weight on myself and walking around the woods. I want to, I really do. I bought all that new gear and I've yet to use it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I am still cooking. I just don't do a lot of the filming and stuff like that, but I always use my smokers. Over the past few weeks, I've done probably about 8 racks of ribs and a couple of pork butts, grilled off a bunch of chicken. What else have I done? Country style ribs, hot dogs and brats and burgers, good stuff on the grill. But again, this is going to be a motorcycle episode. Today, I'm going to change the oil. I just got back from Nevada not long ago. Well, it's been probably about a month or more. And I've yet to change the oil in the bike. That was over 5,500 miles, so it's got to get done. So I went out, I got my oil filter, and I got 4 quarts of oil, and we're going to get this done. I'm going to do the whole process. I'm going to do the drain, I'm going to do the filter, replacing that. I'm also going to do the screen, the pre-screen. A lot of people don't realize that that's part of changing your oil. When I've done it in the past, I usually did not do the screen, and then before I went to Nevada, I did it, and I was finding some pretty good sized chunkies in that screen. So I'm going to do it this time, and I'm going to do it from now on. So what we need to do is we need to get under here, not here, you're sick. We need to get under here, we need to pull the drain plug. When you take out the plug, don't forget to take the washer with it, because if the washer gets stuck on there or it falls into the dirty oil, you got to fish it out. Either that or else you got to run to the store and get a new one. So make sure you have that washer. As long as you're not torquing down that plug too harshly, that washer should last you a very long time. Okay, let's get going. Let's get into this. Okay, so yes, I'm laying on the floor. I'm trying to save up for an actual bike lift, so I don't have to sit on the floor much. But still haven't gotten it. I need a few $100s, and I just don't have it right now. So, gotta get under the bike here. All right, just to give you an orientation, this is going to be what I catch the oil in. Come down here. This right here is the filter. We will remove that later. But this right here is your plug. So that's what we need to take off. All right, I'll try to get you under the bike here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. It is a size 17 millimeter. So let me see if I can get you lined up here pretty good. Okay, right there is our plug. 17. All right, that's it. It's loosening up. Okay, once it comes out, now comes the oil. Okay, so basically all I do is I just take a little shop towel and just wipe down any of the crap that's on the bolt, on the washer. Just really try to clean it up best I can. Okay, next step is to remove the filter itself. Usually I can't just do it by hand, but I always give it a shot. So I got some channel lock pliers here, and All right, there we go. I don't know if you can see, but I've got just a small little flow of oil coming out the drain hole yet. So I'm gonna move my oil pan over to catch anything that comes out of here. Just let that drain out for a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to put my my filter here on my little oil pan, just so that I can sit there and keep draining and running down into here. I've already drained most of the oil out of there, so there's not a whole lot left. But yeah, I'm just going to put it there. Gets out of my way and it doesn't go all over my floor. All right, back under here. Okay, this is for more orientation. So you got your air cover here, your transmission cover there, primary cover. Okay, so you can see where I'm still dripping back here with oil into my pan. But right about here, yeah, right there. That's the screen, so I need to take that bolt out, but let me give you a slightly better angle here. So right here is the screen bolt, and it's the same size as the plug, as the drain plug, so I got my 17 still on there, my 17 millimeter. Ugh. Oil dripping out. There we go. Sorry, I gotta put the camera away. This is a tight quarters. I don't want to get my camera full of shit. This is what you're unbolting. There's the bolt head right there, and this whole thing comes out. Put that on a clean shop rag or a towel or something. Now what you're going to do is you're going to reach in here, grab the spring, and the screen will come right out with it. Okay, so this is what you're pulling out. You can see the screen inside the spring. Now the rubber washer here, when you go to put it back in, make sure that goes inside the motor. It's not the end sticking out by the bolt. Okay, I got the screen and the spring out. And of course they do come apart, so you got your spring here. As far as I know, there's no front and back, in and out type positioning for that spring. It all looks the same to me. This is the screen. Now, a lot of people will take WD-40 and spray this down. I would do that if I see a lot of gunk on here. If I was seeing a lot of particulates caught in the screen, yes, I would do that. But mine actually looks pretty decent, so I'm not going to do it this time. Also, on the screen is a metal washer. Do not lose that. It goes down by the rubber end, and once you get it back in there, that spring will push up against the metal, which will push the rubber into the hole that's inside the engine, kind of sealing it all up. And then this pushes up against that spring to make sure that that screen stays nice and tight in there. So yeah, it's an important little step, and a lot of people don't do it. Oh, you know what? I'm kind of getting thirsty. It's like 80 degrees and 90% humidity out here today, so I'm kind of getting thirsty, and I gotta let this drain out for a little while anyway, so I'm gonna go get something to drink. Okay, well, I think it's pretty much done dripping, and I got inside and got cleaned up a little bit. But now it's time to put everything back together. So let's start with the screen and spring, and get that back in and get this going. All right, let's Let's move the oil out of the way. There is still a few drips coming out, but I'm not too worried about those. Take my screen, put it inside the spring. And that goes, remember, the rubber end goes in first. That goes in like that. Here is my cap. Cap goes in. Alright, 17 mil again. Tighten it up. And there we go. Okay, so we got the screen, the spring, and all that back in where it belongs. And now we got to deal with the filter. Now, the one thing that you got to check for with the filter is to make sure that the rubber gasket seal that's going around here, you got to make sure that it actually came off the bike. You know, and make sure that it's still here, because if this was still stuck onto the bike and you try to put the new one on, it's not going to seal properly and it's going to leak like a sieve. So make sure that you have the seal in here. Okay? I've got mine in here, so I'm good to go. I need my new filter. And it looks like the seal is already in place on the filter. So now all I gotta do, I'm just gonna dab my finger into a little bit of dirty oil that's coming out of the old filter and just lube up that that seal just a little bit. You don't need a lot, okay? And so that's all I need. And it's going to help create a good seal when I screw this on. Gotta make sure that this threaded shaft goes into that hole. That's where your threads are, that's what holds it in place. It's just got to be hand tight. You don't need to take a wrench and torque it down or anything like that. Just get it hand tight to where you just can't move it anymore and you're good to go. Alright, let's get the plug put in now. Alright, plug goes in. Now we just snug it up and don't go really tight on it. There, as soon as it stops moving, you're done. That's it. You don't need to go any tighter. So yeah, over tightening that drain plug is just about as bad as over tightening the radiator plug. And people do it all the time. They think they gotta put 100 pounds of pressure on that damn thing. You just don't need that much, okay? You're tightening it up, and once it feels like it's not gonna move anymore, stop, okay? Just stop. I have to put that dirty oil into this canister so I can get it disposed of properly. Okay, so I got all the oil dumped into here. I'm just gonna let this sit here like that and just drain. Okay, time to fill it up with oil now. Let me show you what you gotta do. Okay, this is your cap that you gotta remove to put the oil in. Now that's a pretty big slot, and I don't have a screwdriver anywhere near that size. So what I'll do is I'll put in a standard screwdriver and kind of lay it down at an angle, and then just twist it off. Alright, let's start filling it up. I'm not going to risk dumping the oil in. That's what funnels are for. Got my funnel in place. Got my oil. I'm going full synthetic now. And I've had no problems whatsoever with it. Now, for my 1600, I believe the stats are 3.8 quarts. But I found that if I do that, it's like just at the low level, so I actually put in the full 4 quarts. Go nice and slow. You're not in a hurry. I'll just let that one drain while I open up the next bottle. Alright, gotta put my cover back on. Take my screwdriver. It's just a nice tight fit. Okay, the final step is actually to start it up and get the oil inside and the engine all circulated around. It's not going to take long for the oil to circulate around the engine, but I'd probably give it maybe 5 minutes. Just a quick look under the bike here. I'm not seeing any oil drips or anything coming out of the screen. We got that screwed in nice and tight. The filter itself is tight. The oil drain plug is nice and tight. So yeah, so far so good. Everything's looking great. I'll just, like I said, I'll just let this sit here and run for a few minutes and double check the level. I've never had a problem with the level being off, so I should be okay. Okay, I'm trying to hold the bike as steady as I can to check the level down here, and that looks pretty good. So yeah, that's the end of it. Also, that little window where we just checked the level, that's how you also look to see how dirty your oil is. So, you know, if you look in there and it's like a completely black window, it's time to change your oil. Thanks for watching me change the oil on my Vulcan 1600 Classic. I hope you learned something in this one. Do your own oil change. It's a very simple process. Some bikes are a little bit different than others. Some bikes take more oil or less oil than others. But the process is pretty much all the same. You know, maybe it's a little different when it comes to the screen and stuff like that, but you know, pulling the plug and the filter, you know, that's normal for just about every bike. So yeah, I'm hoping you can go out there, save a little bit of money, do the work yourself. Don't pay a shop $50 to change your oil. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the road. Okay, so I'm just out here doing a little bit of work, getting my tools put away from changing the oil and whatnot, getting the oil put into the containers and stuff so I can get them down to the shop to be disposed of. But I was sitting here thinking that I have a little bit of a bad news situation. As you may remember, if you've seen my video, when I left for the West Rally, the day before I left, my dog had a seizure. And she seemed to be okay. You know, she was slower and stuff like that. You know, it did seem to affect her in a way, but, you know, not horribly. When I got home, you know, about 2 weeks later, my wife informed me that she had another seizure about, I think it was like maybe a day or two before I got home. So that's basically 2 seizures in about 2 weeks. Again, she wasn't really showing any signs. Of course, she's getting old. So she seems to be moving slower, not eating as much. You know, just stuff like that. And I'm sitting there watching her, and I've got some pretty major concerns. Well, it's been probably a good month since I've been home now, and lo and behold, she had a third seizure. And this one really did a number on her. Her breathing habits changed. Instead of just a standard breath, she was almost panting. You know, she's just all the time. You know, she's not, running around the yard. She's not hot. She's not overheating. She's just breathing that way, and that's not a good sign. Over the next week or so after that seizure, she basically stopped eating. I tried to hand feed her. We changed up her food, thinking maybe the dry food was too hard for her to chew. So we went with a canned food. Just, we're trying to think of so many things to figure out what was going on, and how to get her to eat, and the breathing and stuff like that. And I finally, after just a few days, I was like, this isn't right. So let's take her to the vet and get her checked out. Well, I told my wife that over a weekend, and of course I get up and drive my Uber Lyft on Monday mornings. It's a very big day for me, and I don't want to miss out. So I told her to, get a hold of the vet, take the dog in, and get her checked out. Well, they did that, and the vet looked at her, gave her a quick physical and stuff like that, and said that she is bleeding internally. We don't know where, we don't know how it started or anything like that, but the vet was giving her 24 hours to live. Luckily, on the good side, it'd be 24 hours. So we had no choice but to put our puppy dog down. We had to do it for humanity reasons, and we're actually very torn up about it. We are having her cremated. We're going to get her ashes back. We'll have a little bit of a puppy funeral here, and I think right now the consensus is that we're going to be dogless for a little bit, and we'll just see how things go. This will be the first time that we've been dogless in like 30 years. Bree lived to be 16, 17 years old, and Thor was 12. He was my Great Dane. And so we've had dogs for a long time, and I think it's time to give it a shot with no dogs. We still have the 2 cats, Cinder and Stitch, or as I call them, Jackass and Dipshit. But it's been kind of hard on the family. I wake up in the morning thinking I got to feed the dog and let her out, and then I get that hit saying she's not here anymore. And Jen's been getting condolences from friends at work, and of course family and friends on Facebook. When I posted it up, they were giving me a lot of condolences and prayers and stuff like that, and it's all been appreciated. So it's a little different now, but we'll eventually get by.